man whom the American Film Institute dubbed the greatest male star of all time in 1999 was born exactly 100 years before, on Christmas Day 1899. With wealthy upper-middle-class parents, Humphrey Bogart's natural milieu was the drawing rooms of Manhattan, and yet he eventually found fame as Hollywood's favorite gangster and tough guy. His first real film role was in 1930 in the John Ford-directed Up the River, which starred Spencer Tracy. Bogey then served a long apprenticeship in stage work and minor film roles, making his breakthrough in the 1936 film The Petrified Forest, playing a role based on bank robber John Dillinger. This set the tone for his long-term contract with Warner Brothers, but saw him cast as heavy after heavy in a long series of films, including Raoul Walsh's They Drive by Night in 1940. Bogart despaired of his typecasting, although perhaps his looks made it inevitable.
Hey, you dirty son of a roadhog!
The year after They Drive by Night, Bogart's fortunes really began to change.
We were talking about a lot more money than this.
There are more of us to be taken care of now.
Well, that may be, but I've got the fork.
In 1941, he played one of his most memorable roles, thanks to George Raft, who turned down the offer to play Sam Spade in John Huston's The Maltese Falcon.
The police will be here any minute. Now talk.
Oh, how can you...
Bogey was a smash hit in the part, and his popularity soared. In 1944, he made To Have and Have Not for Howard Hawks, which introduced him and the world to the 19-year-old Betty Persky, known to the public as Lauren Bacall. When Bacall's Slim posed Bogey's Steve the unforgettable question, "You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow," the die was cast. And despite a 25-year age gap, the couple fell madly in love. They were married the following year and had 2 children. Bogey had been married 3 times before, disastrously, but this time it was for keeps. In 1946, Howard Hawks teamed them together again in The Big Sleep, a noir thriller that even writer Raymond Chandler admitted had plot points that confused him. But the electricity between Bogey and Bacall made any such quibbles utterly irrelevant. In 1947, the famously liberal couple became incensed by the House Un-American Activities Commission and its witch hunt against perceived communists in Hollywood. "They'll nail anyone who ever scratched his ass during the national anthem," said Bogey. He and Bacall joined the Committee for the First Amendment, along with other left-leaning entertainment figures such as Judy Garland, Gene Kelly, John Garfield, John Huston, and William Wyler, and headed to Washington to make their protests heard. National sentiment was strong, though, driven by post-war paranoia about Reds under the bed, and even Bogey found it difficult to maintain his public standing while keeping true to his politics. He found himself on the receiving end of criticism and was forced to temper his attitude, even writing an article in 1948 entitled, "I'm No Communist." He went back to work in 1951 and received a Best Actor Oscar for The African Queen. 3 years later, though, he was badly cast as the love interest to Audrey Hepburn in Billy Wilder's Sabrina. Hepburn was 25, Bogey 55, and in failing health. A serious drinker and smoker, Bogey died of cancer in January 1957. He was buried with a little gold whistle, Bacall's reminder that if he ever needed her, all he had to do was blow.
I don't care who loves who. I won't play the sap for you.
Three, two, one.